All right, so today we have to talk more about Justin Trudeau because he's going into overdrive, doubling. I'd say it's not even doubling down; it's tripling down on. Ever since the whole blackface thing, having to pander to try and gain more votes that he's probably lost from the whole blackface thing. And yesterday he announced that he's going to again. They never announce how they're going to do these things, like with the gun control. They don't really announce what exactly they're going to do. It's just we're going to increase gun control and it's going to cut crime. Even though it's not going to decrease crime because if you want to reduce gun crime, then you have to target criminals and how they're getting the guns. And since criminals don't buy their guns legally, making it harder for people to buy guns legally doesn't do anything. It's pointless. But that's another topic. The whole cell phone bill thing. Number one, it doesn't make sense on many levels. First of all, if Justin Trudeau knew how to make a cell phone bill $25 a month cheaper, and I assume that's for an individual person's cell phone bill, then why isn't he going to one of these, Bell or Telus or Rogers or whoever, one of these big cell phone companies, being like, hey, I have an idea that could, save people massive amounts on cell phone bills and still make you guys a lot of money. Like the idea would be worth billions probably if he actually knew how to do that. Now, the only real way to do that for the government is to literally force companies to 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 charge people less, but then they're just going to offer less. So the government doesn't really have a solution for it. Like I said, if Justin Trudeau had a solution, the free market, he would go to the free market and he would come up with a solution. He'd make billions, and that would be that. The other thing he talks about here, we're going to cut taxes. Number one, like, why haven't you done these things already? Like, the one big thing that I've noticed, I haven't heard a lot of people talking about, is you have U.S. elections coming up. They're actually a little over a year away, but U.S. elections, they start campaigning and stuff like 2 years out, like that crazy amount. But Trump, when you hear about Trump talking, I mean, he hasn't talked a lot about it, but when he talks about stuff that he's done. He talks about the fact that the wall is definitely behind, not quite at the rate people would want it to be, but it's getting built. A decent amount of it has got built. He talks about the economic numbers, joblessness or unemployment's very low. All these kind of things. He talks about stuff that he's done that's good thing. Justin Trudeau, all he's talking about is we're going to give you this free thing, we're going to give you that free thing. Like I said, we're going to cut like all stuff. Like basically, point being, why hasn't he talked about his record so far as prime minister? He's had 4 years to do anything he wants. Basically, they have a liberal majority. And again, why isn't he talking about this kind of stuff? And the reason why is very simple. He's done absolutely nothing to help the middle class. Absolutely nothing. He's he's basically just. I mean, when it comes to from a fiscal perspective, he's basically a neocon. Like his policies, they only help big corporations and the rich. Really, he has, I believe, cut taxes a little bit, but when you look at it from a net perspective, when you figure in the carbon tax and the increase that cost in living that comes with the carbon tax, he's actually raised taxes. So in a way, he's cut taxes, but he's kind of the carbon tax is kind of a loop around that to where taxes are actually up. And again, I challenge you to find, like, if you're a Justin Trudeau supporter, God forbid, to find some people that actually have that are middle class people that work full time, that aren't on any government welfare programs or anything like that, that have their from a net perspective, not just from your paycheck, that have more money in their pocket than they did before, assuming you're making the same amount of money. Like it's almost impossible because taxes haven't been lowered that much. Um, the homeowners taxes have gone up. If you sell your house, all that kind of stuff. Foreign investment in Canada is way down under Justin Trudeau. I mean, you look those numbers up. Foreign investment is up under Trump compared to Trudeau, even though to invest in the U.S., you're having to pay about 25% more, give or take whatever the dollar's at. So that just goes to show just how much better the U.S. economy is. Like I said, I've talked about it before, that investors would rather invest in the U.S. even though they have to pay 25% more compared to Canada, where they would get 25 cents lower on the dollar. So they're that much more confident in the U.S. So either Trump is doing something very good and or Trudeau is doing something very bad. The problem is you have a lot of Canadians who are even conservative Canadians that are brainwashed into thinking Trump is terrible. Yeah, I mean he's not great, but he's way leaps and bounds better than Bush, Obama, Clinton. I mean Clinton was just lucky that he was in at a good time, but it's been at least a couple generations since there's been a president better than Trump, and I think half the reason being is that a lot of the presidents have just sucked. It's not that Trump is the greatest ever. So I mean, Trudeau, like he's not going to do any of this. Like I challenge people in the comments to give me like one. What has Justin Trudeau done that it's been good? Like they promised to legalize marijuana, which they did, even though there's even more regulations on the books as regards to marijuana as there now as there is before the legalization. So technically it's legal, but technically there's just more red tape, and I would not consider it legalization. And from what I've heard, um, the marijuana that's out there is lower quality and it's more expensive, so it's not really a win-win in any way, shape, or form. And it's not even as if right prior to the legalization there were cops going around throwing people in jail for marijuana possession. Like it wasn't really happening, at least from what I could hear or what I could tell. So like again, Justin Trudeau, he's not going to do anything. He's just pandering, and like I said, I want to make a prediction. I mean, it's a little too late probably, but the more he does this kind of stuff, the more desperate he is, because if he was very confident in his chances of winning the election, obviously not anymore prior to the blackface thing, he wouldn't need to do like why would you promise all this stuff if you were confident in your ability to win the election? Like Scheer isn't going around making all these massive promises and pandering to every group he possibly can. I mean, I don't even like Scheer, but at least I'm going to be honest that he's not going around making promises that he's not going to fulfill, because we all know he's not going to do this kind of stuff. Like they might pass some BS gun control thing that goes after legal gun owners, which is going to do absolutely nothing. So the solution will be more gun control, like it always is. And they're not going to cut taxes, but their solution will be, oh, you guys aren't paying enough carbon tax, and then they're going to keep raising that, and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to talk too much more in this video, so if you liked it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.